welcome back to the show. Now it is the season of the sore throat, of course, and other nasties. So we're to sort your viral infections from your bacterial ones. We have the ever-knowledgeable Paula Riley from Boots. Hello.
Hello.
Paula, great to have you. Boots are taking an interest this year, this time of year, all about sore throats and so on and so forth. Are there different types of sore throats?
Yeah, there are. So I suppose everyone will have experienced sore throats at some stage in their life. So you'll generally experience about 2 to 3 sore throats a year. And they can be of viral nature or they can be of bacterial nature.
See, I'd imagine lots of people watching this show now would have young children, and when you go into the doctor and you hear everything is viral and you go, oh my God.
I know.
It's one of those things you go...
As a patient, it's very hard to know whether or not it's viral or bacterial, but you know it is important that we don't want people going to the doctor unnecessarily. And indeed, most sore throats actually there is no need to go to a doctor. They generally tend to be self-limiting. You can get treatments that can help with the symptoms, but you don't necessarily need to get antibiotics for them.
When you look at a sore throat and you look at kind of tests, can you do a swab or something to find out if it's bacterial or if it is just viral?
So for that reason, Boots have developed what's called a sore throat test and treat service. And as part of that service, they will do exactly that. So the way it works is you can go into the pharmacy if you are, if you have a sore throat and you're quite concerned about it, you don't know whether it's bacterial or viral nature. The healthcare advisor will ask you a couple of questions, just first of all to see if you're eligible for the service, and they'll then refer you into the pharmacist. So the pharmacist then will do a number of things. So first and foremost, they'll do a physical examination. So they will what's called palpate the lymph nodes in the neck, and what they're doing there is checking to see if there's any swelling, any inflammation or tenderness, which may indicate that actually it could be an infection that's causing it. They will then look at the back of your throat, so they will look at your tonsils. They'll see if there's any pus on the tonsils, any inflammation, which again could indicate that it is a bacterial infection.
So, Paul, I think this is a great idea, and the simple fact that you don't have to go to the doctor at that stage at all. So this is kind of the pre-doctor step, if you like.
Exactly. Because you know if you need an antibiotic or not. Isn't that the reality? That's
it. And like most people won't know, whether or not their sore throat is severe enough that they actually need an antibiotic. Most people are so busy, they just want it sorted and they want to treat it and gone, that they'll go to the doctor to get antibiotics quickly to kind of clear it. But if the pharmacist does see then any of the symptoms that I just mentioned, then what they can do then is actually take a swab of the back of your throat on your tonsils as such.
And what do they do with that then?
So then they take the swab and then they will put it in a test solution, and that will detect whether or not it has a bacterial infection.
Brilliant. Will that there and then, Paula, will that?
Within 5 minutes.
Wow.
So the most common bacterial infection that we see in Ireland is caused by a streptococcal A bacteria. So that particular test will test for that bacteria. And you'll know within 5 minutes whether or not you have a bacterial infection.
So, Paula, how does the service work? Who can go in?
So anyone can go in. You can walk in. You don't need to make an appointment or anything. Initially, you will talk to someone on the healthcare counter. As I said, they'll ask you just a couple of questions, and then they'll see. They may be able to determine at that stage that actually it's mild. Actually, it may not definitely.
You have to be over 16, do you?
You have to be over 16, exactly.
Do you pay for it, Paula?
Yeah, so you only pay if you go into the pharmacist as such, and that's it's only €7.50. So it's not expensive.
Well, it's a lot cheaper than if you had to go to a doctor and pay up to what, €60 these days for.
And there'd be a huge waiting list as well inside the doctor's office usually.
But do you, as a pharmacist yourself, if you do have, you'd know if your throat is just kind of sore, and then if you have, say, white spots at the back of your throat, is that normally an indicator that you have a bacterial infection?
So we would ask a number of questions. So how long have you had it? So most sore throats will last 5 to 7 days. So they are self-limiting and they should clear about 5 to 7 days. If they're persisting, then okay, it may be a bacterial infection. If you also have a fever, so we will test your temperature on the day too. So we'll check to see if you have a temperature over 38 degrees. And if you have, again, that is an indication that actually it may be a bacterial infection. Now, we tend to say that if there's a bacterial infection, you shouldn't have a cough. If you have a cough along with it, then it's more likely that actually it's caused by the same viruses that cause the common cold. And it's generally viral nature then, and it's not bacterial.
How long do they last? Because I've been speaking to people recently and they say that they have them for the last 2 weeks. Is that kind of uncommon, or is that the...
Yeah, if it is persisting, then it may be an infection that's there. Generally, as I said, 5 to 7 days would be as long as a sore throat would last.
And then the pharmacist, do they give a letter then that you can bring to your GP that you've had this test?
Yeah,
so that stops then, it makes things quicker again for you as well to get it sorted.
They'll give a letter then that you can bring to your GP, which outlines the test that actually has been carried out in the pharmacy, and indicating that there is a streptococcal A infection there, and then that antibiotics are appropriate.
It is the time of the year, whatever it is, the week or two before Christmas, they all seem to be floating around the place.
Oh, look, there's so many people at the minute with sore throats.
I think you can just as well with a sore throat now. I think if you're a little bit run down.
And everyone's so busy this time of year.
If you're a little bit run down, if you go out at the weekends then as well, coming up to Christmas, you'll run yourself down a small bit more maybe.
Yeah, and
I suppose as Paula has said though, recently on the show, take your vitamins, if you're not eating, if you're not getting enough nutrition and all that. Anyway, you've brought some products for us if you are suffering from sore throat.
Yeah.
Fix us. Tell us about these. These are throat sprays.
Exactly. So even if it is viral or bacterial nature, you can use any of these products, okay? These are just going to treat the symptoms as such. So there's throat sprays that you can get, and they're really good because they really do get to the back of the throat. What they contain is, they contain anti-inflammatory agents, so they'll bring down any swelling or inflammation, which will make it that little bit easier to swallow and to eat and drink. They also have pain-relieving agents in it as well. So they'll just help ease, I suppose, the pain that's associated with it also. Some of them may have anaesthetics in them as well, and they'll numb the throat area.
Are they the spray ones?
They're the spray ones.
I remember using this one, and it would kind of numb your throat, the diaphragm one.
Yeah, it does, exactly.
Do they have different types of anti-inflammatories?
Yeah, so the products I have there, they're not all the exact same. So some of them do have different types of anti-inflammatories. But they're equally as effective. I would recommend any of the products that are there for a sore throat. I suppose it's important to mention as well that you can use paracetamol and ibuprofen as well. You don't need to necessarily get something specifically targeted at sore throats. Paracetamol, ibuprofen, absolutely. If you have that in the press at home.
What about the old-fashioned honey and lemon, Paula? Does that work?
I would say drink plenty of fluids, keep the throat moist, honey and lemon, even gargling salt and water can help as well.
That's very hard to do, though.
It is hard to do.
Oh, my God, I can't do it.
I'm really weird. See, that's another little thing here. So you just put that into your throat and just spray it.
And spray it.
To the back of your throat.
To the back of your throat, yeah.
Okay.
But how long will that give you much relief, Paula? Just for maybe half an hour?
It depends. Some of them you'll use it maybe every hour or every 3 hours. So each of the products are different in terms of how frequently you use them.
I did, but I kind of found a very funny sensation when my whole back of my mouth went numb. I thought it was kind of weird. Then it wore off after a while. It was good, all right.
So it helps though if you're in bits.
I prefer something like Strepsol, something very straightforward.
Oh yeah, lozenges.
the old style ones.
That's what brought these for you, the old style. So lozenges.
Hard sweets.
They're the same way, the honey and lemon that you mentioned. So, I mean, there's loads of different types of lozenges that you can get now. It's not just the original ones that used to be on the market that contained, like, typically honey and lemon.
Yeah.
You can get ones now that do contain anaesthetics that will also numb the area, and you can get ones that have antibacterials as well in them, pain-relieving agents in them. So
my only problem with them, Paula, right, and my wife gives out to me all the time, I actually bite into them.
Before you suck them.
You're not supposed to chew them.
Rita, I swear to God, she had one of them in her mouth for a day and a half at one stage. She did bite into the temptation to bite it. It's a thing I have, right, Paula?
I can't help myself. You're not the only one.
So what do we have here? We've got glycerin. Okay, glycerin. Yeah. That's interesting because glycerin kind of coats the throat. Isn't that right? So if you have like a tickly cough or that kind of sore, would help as well.
So it again will coat the throat, soothe it again, and just make it easier because it's really important that you're keeping hydrated and you're eating and drinking.
These are pastilles. I think this would open one of those so you can have that there. And I'm telling the people. Paula, thank you so much. And as Paula always says, taking an antibiotic if you don't need it is just counterproductive. Really.
Yeah, look, it's just going to cause resistance and cause problems down the future. Absolutely. So there's no point taking it, if not needed.
They smell really good as well.
Paula,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
As always, more information on anything we discussed today, you can head over to boots.ie, and Paul will be back with us again to fix us again in a couple of weeks' time.